Glenn Kirshner tweeted, examples of Republicans working to improve the lives of everyday Americans. Let's see. Benghazi investigation, Hillary's emails, Hunter's laptop. Let's face it. Those who can govern do. Those who can't go on absurd investigative witch hunts.
Can we be honest?
Every time.
The Hunter's laptop thing has turned into the race to find Hunter's junk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they... Are you guys trying to tell us something?
And it's not hard to spot, I'm told. Anyway.
Shaw.
Just saying. By the way, Malcolm, real quick,
maybe they need that bit of spice in the Congress.
Because I'm holding my stuffed javelin that you sent me.
Speaking of Hunter's junk, what?
Okay. Wait, what? Is it that big? David
According
Roth,
to my friend Jefferson, who's seen the photos, yes, it is
apparently
that big.
it is that. Yes.
Is that an ICBM in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
David Rothkopf said, make no mistake, SpaceX's decision to withhold Starlink service from Ukraine is pro-Russia, anti-Ukraine, anti-NATO, and anti-U.S. Do they have the right to do it? Sure. Should the U.S. do business with this company? Help it in any way? Hell no. Give us your take on that.
Yeah, so apparently Elon Musk has, he says that he doesn't direct any of these things, and he clearly does, has directed that data link usage for drones flying off of the off of Starlink. What Starlink is, it's a little internet bubble.
Right.
That you get a down signal from his satellites, and then it creates a bubble where you are, and you can fly a drone and stream video back from that drone if you're close enough to a Starlink. And it's been very important.
Yeah.
It's the principal way we communicate out there in some instances. And he's decided he's going in on Russia now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to hurt his bottom line. Starlink is not paid by Elon Musk. Starlink is being paid for by the United States Department of Defense. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk has never donated nothing. He made the U.S. Department of Defense pay for everything he said he donated.
Yeah.
It's a service, like the satellite lift that we have. So if he would like to continue doing business with the government of the United States, I would make it eminently clear that he better do business and stay out of this political working for Moscow. And at some point, he's going to betray us. You guys know how I feel about Elon Musk. Mm-hmm. He's a fat, lazy Bond villain. All right.
Yep.
He's the actual idiot genius from The Glass Onion. And, and I don't think, for a South African, Nazi lover who thinks Kim.com and the head of the editor-in-chief of Stormfront, the Nazi magazine, is someone we should be doing business with our government dollar. Paige and Kevin Hart, all right? Black James Bond, who runs into these villains and goes, this is my opponent?
Speaking of Hollywood, I know how Ed Sullivan felt now because it's like the Beatles live in studio. There have been women queuing up for hours to talk to Malcolm Nance, including Lucretia, the sweaty church whore of the Stephanie Miller Show. Hello, Lucretia. You're on with Malcolm.
Hi, yes. Good morning, everyone. And Malcolm, it is an honor, and I do have to say, talk about being nervous like the town prostitute at the church picnic. Woo!
Is it the picnic? Isn't that where the real church work gets done?
Are you jealous that I'm holding his giant javelin?
Yeah, you nasty girl.
Go ahead. What do you want to ask Malcolm?
Just for show.
Okay, so I wanted to mention about Adderall McDip crap, complaining about Chrissy Teigen's fabulous tweet. Yes. And wanted to take it down. My thing is, like, what happened to the First Amendment and free speech? I mean, Lord, Bentley Thaddeus would say god-awful stuff about everyone else, but when the shoe's on the other foot, he's losing his GD mind, which is why he is a hypocritical meow-meow-ass bitch.
Right. Well, thank you for that. Good edit.
Meow meow ass bitch.
I'm in.
By the way, Lindy Lee said Biden never used the power of the presidency to pressure Twitter to remove Hunter Biden's pics. Trump used the power of the presidency to pressure Twitter to take down Chrissy Teigen's tweet calling him a pussy-ass bitch. Learn the effing difference.
Yep.
That's why the hearings blew up in their face, because it proved the point. In fact, Scott Dworkin said Trump begged Twitter to take down countless tweets so many times they kept a database. When are those Twitter files being released?
Right. Oh, I love the way that Elon Musk takes all of these has-been loser journalists. What's his name? Well, there has been loser. Matt Taibbi.
Yeah.
Matt Taibbi
Yeah.
and I had a salty exchange over Russia. He's a big Russia lover
Yeah.
because he went there to, I guess, get drunk and sexually harass women. I don't know. That's the accusation
Allegedly.
from his roommate, allegedly. But nothing very manly.
Yep.
But these guys are like, oh, things happened in Twitter. I wrote a tweet a month and a half ago about what a Substack, about what Twitter really was going to turn into.
Yeah.
When I called Elon Musk a lazy fat Bond villain, it was going to turn into where he is going to weaponize and or sell your DMs, your private messages.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it if they're on Twitter. He owns them. And I wouldn't be surprised if he started attacking his enemies and attacking critics by allowing people access to your what you thought were private communications back then.
Aye.
Don't trust people with your private
God.
communications.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry, glad.
Sorry, Karen in Chicago.
Yeah, well, you know,
I don't know if that was a moan of pleasure or pain.
The prostitute.
No,
Oh,
this-
God.
This is a different. This is a different whore.
No, this is Karen.
Oh, okay. Hey, Karen.
Yes. Hello.
Entirely different
Hello.
whore from Chicago.
Well, and here we go. And I have to I have to continue the thread of Hunter Biden's junk by saying that, I tune in for the expertise and the humor, but I stay for Glenn Kirshner and his giant gavel
Yes.
Yeah.
taking issue with you manhandling another man's missile.
Well, I mean, Glenn Kirshner's giant gavel and Malcolm Nance's giant javelin. It is a lot of man this Friday.
It is
Are
a
you
lot.
woman enough to take today's show, Karen?
Absolutely. I like to end my weeks with a bang. So this
Oh,
is
there you
perfect.
go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But no, what
Double
I just
intended.
want to say, from my heart, Malcolm,
Yeah.
thank you for fighting for democracy. You are an exceptional human being to go over there and assist the Ukraine military in their efforts to save their democracy.
And also, can I say real quick, because Malcolm's very shy about talking about his books, I want to just say that it is so important. These are like the really like seminal pieces of our time. It's not just the plot to hack America; it's the plot to hack democracy, and how Malcolm is the historian of this time in our country. And I'm being quite serious about the whole through line and what's happening in Ukraine and how this ties into the entire world. And they are just absolutely essential to read. But anyway, go ahead.
Yes, no, and absolutely. And Malcolm, see, this is the thing. I mean, democracy is fought on all kinds of fronts, and you, boots on the ground, Glenn Kirshner fighting for accountability, Mark Elias fighting for voting rights, and all of it. It's also important. When you're on and you give us this information, it makes us more informed. And Stephanie's 11 billion listeners, we all then take it to the streets, and then we can have more informed conversations with the people in our lives and perfect strangers, and tell them why it is imperative that we all get out and vote. And I think that we have to remember, if there's another Republican president, God forbid, the next time, let's say we do get justice and Trump is indicted, and at the federal level, he can be pardoned by the next Republican president. And if we think that won't happen, we've got another thing coming. But thank God, I just hope that this Georgia charges.
Let me give a shout out to the Steph heads as well, because this was a great tweet. My talk about progressive infrastructure. That there's hundreds of conservative stations, but Story tweeted, "Just think what a different country this would be if Reagan had not overturned the Fairness Doctrine, and there would have never been a Rush Limbaugh on Fox News. We would have had Medicare for all, solar-powered cars, homes with renewable energy, cleaner air, etc. years ago." But I mean, we the people,
can I just
right?
say,
Go ahead.
And Steph, can I just say, and Malcolm, maybe you can speak to this.
Sure.
This is the thing. The Fairness Doctrine, the FCC has no jurisdiction over cable news. So Fox News can do whatever they want. I think it's very troubling that they're allowed to stream for free onto our military bases, basically radicalizing our military, and then they offer free subscriptions to veterans for Fox Nation. This is a problem.
Well, it's not a problem. Here's what it's an issue. I know people have shouted at the Secretary of Defense about this. I know people who have spoken to him personally. about that from the veterans community. They're trying to show impartiality and fairness. Look, I would be showing straight up malice if I were chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. A station which helped form an insurrection against the government of the United States should not be shown on U.S. bases. I think that, you should allow, unfortunately, TVs get stuck on those in the waiting rooms and all those things.
Yeah.
But let me make one point about your staff heads. You guys are the foot soldiers in the defense of democracy.
Yep.
Period. You are the people. I cannot stand meeting and seeing these people with the "We the People" T-shirt. You are not. We the people do not overthrow their own government for fun so that you can install a dictator that's run by a KGB officer, an ex-KGB officer. So if you don't do something yourself, I'm sorry, I have never seen a liberal billionaire. I know some. I met one in New York City who actually ran in my district a few years back. You don't see them doing the efforts that Republicans do. You don't see them saying, here's $100 million for television. Ben Shapiro, people talk about my last show with Ben Shapiro. Why was he even on television? Someone handed him $10 million to create his podcast.
But Karen's point is, like, we're doing it without that. I'm doing it from my basement, but it's not me. It's not me. It's the Karens out there that are. And Karen, look at the results of the midterm. There was no red wave.
Power.
Joe Biden is president. There are more of us than there are of them, and so.
But if
and here's the thing. Can I say, too, the other thing that patriots don't do is they don't defy subpoenas, okay, after an insurrection. And they don't write a book, put it all out there, and then now we're speculating whether Pence, is going to delay showing up for his subpoena, and whether or not he's going to plead the Fifth. They don't plead the Fifth. Patriots don't plead the Fifth.
Absolutely.
And they don't defy this. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great weekend.
All right. Love you too. Okay. All right.
Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner wherever you generally get your podcasts.